Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle has resigned after the Trump shooting. I do not think this goes far enough. I think we need to be looking at criminal investigations because the story makes no sense. But here we go from the Daily Mail. Embattled Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle has dramatically announced her resignation in the wake of the colossal security failures that led to Donald Trump being shot. Cheadle took responsibility for the catastrophic lapses after she was lambasted by Republicans and Democrats alike when she appeared before Congress on Monday. The security chief had faced mounting questions over why an agent was not stationed on the roof from where gunman Thomas Crooks opened fire on the former president, and why Trump was allowed to take the stage even when a threat was detected. She had also been ridiculed for suggesting her agency did not have a presence on the roof because it was sloped. We then learned in this hearing that, in fact, there were law enforcement stationed on the roof, but it was too hot. Right. Trump, 78, told her the bizarre excuse was crazy when they met for the first time after he was struck in the ear by a bullet at the rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, on July 13th. In a statement on Tuesday, Trump said, "The Biden-Harris administration did not properly protect me, and so I was forced to take a bullet for democracy. It was my great honor to do so." This Trump guy, Trump and Vance, let me pull this up, were interviewed by Jesse Waters. And I want to see if I can get this image here of Mr. President himself, Donald Trump, that I think is they had an image, but they got rid of it. Yeah, here we go. This is sufficient. So, okay, nope, never mind. Fox News, terrible website. Let's see if we just find an image of this. I'm trying to pull up an image of, here we go. This works. Trump with a bandage on his ear. And I'm wondering what the extent of the damage is going to be after taking a bullet. But you can see here, he has a much smaller bandage now on his ear where the bullet appears to have gone straight through. I'm wondering what the damage will look like. But I will tell you this, my friends. Every time Donald Trump speaks wearing that bandage or with the scar and the damage to his ear will be a reminder to the American people that someone tried to take his life and he is still here working for you. Tremendous respect. Cheadle had refused to step down from her post for 9 days. In a resignation letter to colleagues, she wrote, "To the men and women of the U.S. Secret Service, the Secret Service's solemn mission is to protect our nation's leaders and financial infrastructure." A lot of people don't know this, but the Secret Service was initially created to prevent counterfeiting. And it was only after the assassination of Lincoln that they were like, we're going to have you guys focus on protecting the president too. But that's Secret Service handles financial crimes. Yeah. On July 13th, we fell short of that mission. The scrutiny of the last week has been intense and will continue to remain as our operational tempo increases. As your director, I take full responsibility for the security lapse. However, this incident does not define us. We remain an organization based on integrity and staffed by individuals of exceptional dedication and talent. As I've stated, the Secret Service will move forward with our investigatory and protective mission in a steadfast manner. We do not retreat from challenge. However, I do not want my calls for resignation to be a distraction from the great work each and every one of you do towards our vital mission. When I got the call asking if I would return to the Secret Service after my brief retirement, I did not hesitate. I love this agency, our mission, and the great men and women who sacrifice so much every day. I have and will always put the needs of this agency first. Take a look at that photo. That is crazy. It's a picture of it's the guy on the Crooks on the roof. Nuts. And the iconic photo of Trump raising his fists. Shout out. In light of recent events, it is with a heavy heart that I've made the difficult decision to step down as your director. When I assumed the role as your director, I pledged to do so with honor and integrity. These values have guided my entire career for 29 years. As many of you know, I served as a special agent for 27 years, securing events for F. POTUS Clinton, working as a supervisor on F.P. Cheney's detail, leading RTC, operating at the SAIC of ATL, supervising VP Biden's detail, and finally overseeing the agency's protective mission under the Trump administration as ADOPO. A lot of acronyms in there, lady. As I stated in the hearing yesterday, all of you are worthy of trust and confidence. You deserve the nation's support in carrying out our critical mission. One of my favorite things about the workforce is that the men and women are fiercely committed to our mission. Thank you for all that you do and will continue to do so for our great nation. It followed an intensifying outcry about how the agency tasked with protecting current and former residents could fail in its core mission. Cheadle had served as a Secret Service director since August 2022. At the hearing Monday, Cheadle remained defiant that she was the right person to lead the Secret Service, even as she said she took responsibility for the security failures. I do not believe a reasonable person would conclude these are security failures. I believe that's an insult to our intelligence and likely not correct. I believe that there is likely criminal culpability in this regard, considering that there were unsecured windows, an unsecured rooftop, an unsecured water tower. I'm not saying I agree with any of the theories about a guy on the water tower roof, or anything like that. I'm saying Secret Service has a job to do, and when all of these failures line up, the idea that this was an accident becomes absurd, and I reject it. Now, the other big issue that's emerging in all of this is diversity, equity, and inclusivity. That is, why were there so many female Secret Service agents surrounding Donald Trump? So I made this point last night and night before, and I'll stress it again. I have tremendous respect for the men and women in the Secret Service who threw their bodies on top of Donald Trump. It is really amazing to see. Shots are fired, they jump on top of him. You know what that means? It means they know in their mind they may take a bullet to protect this man's life. That is honorable, 100%. And I will stress this too. To those who would insult the women who did such a thing, I believe is wrong. That being said, these women are not right for the job. They should never have been hired. And I think that's fair to say. It is not the fact that they're women. It's the fact that they're small. I would be equally upset if they were 5'3" men who weighed 100 pounds. See, Napoleon, they call this guy short. He wasn't short. And the reason for it, they say, is that when they would paint his picture, they would show his imperial guards who were very large. And so the assumption people made was he's shorter than everybody else around him. Or he actually just had imperial guards who were taller, intentionally to protect him. If you're going to be a Secret Service agent, you need to be of comparable size to the man you're protecting. You need some meat on your bones, and you need some big bones. So when the bullets come flying and you shield the man's body, you actually provide cover for him. Now, I respect the willingness to put your body in between the shooter and this man. I get that. It's honorable. But you were hired by an agency that did not consider the physical realities of what was going to happen. And thus we end up with a video where you have these short 5'4", 5'5" women who cannot provide adequate cover for Donald Trump, who is 6'3". And that's wrong. By all means, if you want to hire a woman to be a Secret Service agent, no issue. When I was at Mar-a-Lago, there were female Secret Service agents. They were actually fairly tall. I think one was like 5'11", 5'10", and she seemed totally capable. I do think there are questions around, as long as the person passes all the qualifying tests and they have the right physical capabilities, I got no problem if you're a man or woman. However, it will be likely that this will mostly be men, and that's fine. But they've got this DEI push in the Secret Service where they're trying to get more female agents, and that means you've got to go lower down in the qualification pool. Not a fan of that. They're going to add more context around the shooting, which, sure. She says that she takes full responsibility for any security lapse, but I don't think it's fair to say it's a security lapse. How is it possible? The roof is too sloped. No, it isn't. Are you kidding? That's one of the lightest grades imaginable for a roof. Let's break this down real quick for this segment, because it bears repeating every possible chance we get. He showed up, flew a drone over the rally. Wall Street Journal reports. He was spotted 3 hours in advance with a rangefinder. Immediately, you pull that person aside and say, what's the rangefinder? An hour before, identified as suspicious, a photo was taken. 26 minutes before, identified again by law enforcement, suspicious. 10 minutes before, reported as a threat by the Secret Service. Trump still released from holding. 2 minutes before, the audience is screaming, he's on the roof, he's got a gun. No action taken. The men abandoned the roof. The reporting. The director lied about it. It was sloped. We didn't have anybody there. None of these things make sense. Sorry. I'll tell you what makes sense. Someone in an official capacity wanted it to happen. And I can tell you how easy it is. You say, okay, we've got points A, B, C, and D that need to be protected. I'm going to give out your assignments. Come meet with me after the meeting, and I'll hand you your assignment. Bill walks up. Okay, Bill, you're on point A. Go for it, Bill. John comes up. Yep, that's you. You're point D. And then the next guy comes up. You will be at point C. Here you go. The next guy comes up and you say, hold back. I think we're going to use you at the front entrance to monitor and provide additional security. Point B, unsecured. And none of any of these guys who were just given their assignments have any idea that happened. So then, when they see a guy on a rooftop with a gun, they're like, is that one of ours? Because logistically, we should have all this stuff secured, right? Nope. So imagine this. How did Secret Service not take out the shooter faster? The reporting early on was that they thought he was a local friendly, that he was law enforcement. They couldn't tell. But that makes sense. You're Secret Service and you're like, we don't leave rooftops unsecure. So there's no way that's anything else, right? And then a shot gets fired. And then you're like, holy crap. How is it that Donald Trump was released from holding when 10 minutes prior they identified a threat and never addressed it? Easy. Whoever is running logistics, Secret Service has Trump in holding and they say, we got reports of a threat, so just hang here, Mr. President, give us a few minutes. And then this one logistic person goes, all clear. They bring Trump out. That's it. One logistic person says, all clear. And here we are. Resigning is the first step. We need criminal accountability. We need investigations. But I'll wrap this one up here because it is a limited story, and we'll see if there's any more developments coming up later in the day. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with your friends. Thanks for hanging out for this segment. Next segment's coming up at 6 p.m. For those that are watching live, it'll be coming up in just a few minutes. So I'll wrap it up there, and I will see you all next time.